Hey everyone, I've been working on the Frontiers video for a good while now. It's gonna be around 2 hours long, so I thought it was a good idea to give you a little teaser because it's been a good while since I last uploaded. That's it. See ya. That's right, before we even get into the level design of this game, we have to talk about how it is structured, as no other Sonic game really plays like this one fundamentally. As I mentioned before, Sonic Frontiers was a major leap forward for the series, being the big, open-world debut. Instead of a linear set of levels you follow in order to reach a final boss, this game consists of 4 major islands to explore at your own pace, and one smaller one, collecting items and fighting giant mechs along the way. Now, this game needed to find a way to stand out from the huge crowd of other games like it, of course, so what does this game do? Let's cover each main progression system, as they all intertwine in some way. Let's start small, with the map. Across each island, you find mini puzzles/challenges which allow you to see a little bit more of the map each time you complete one. These puzzles range from a simple switch press, to a huge obstacle course taking you across the map. There is a huge variety of puzzles you can find, making this not ever feel stale to me. I especially like the ones where you run over the lit up panels and those previously mentioned obstacle courses. Some of these are a bit too simple for their own good, however, such as the hamster wheels and the jump ropes. Due to how the parry works in the latter, you can basically skip it entirely. Once you complete the entire map, fast travel will be unlocked for you, which may sound annoying at first, but because of how fun traversal is on its own, I don't believe I've ever really used it across my 4 or 5 playthroughs. Yeah, this is a good thing to me. Up next are the Guardians scattered around each island. These unlock the cyberspace portals, which in turn allow you to obtain the Chaos Emeralds. Again, there's a huge variety of bosses to fight, some being upgrades of previous ones, but most being entirely original to each island. Kronos Island features Azura, Ninja, Tower, and Squid. Azura is very fun, especially if you attempt a quick kill by running up its body before it slams its fists down. Ninja is okay, but it's really just a more powerful basic enemy at this point. Tower and its variants are all very interesting, as you can tackle them in a huge variety of ways. You can run up its body and attack its head for a super fast takedown, or you could take it slow and destroy its body parts until the head is what's left. The only real dud here is Squid, who just takes forever to even get a chance to attack. Ares Island is generally weaker, as I'm not a fan of Sumo due to its janky way of being defeated. Shark is okay, but it boils down to 10 QTEs really. I quite like Strider, mainly because of how awesome and huge it is, but also because I think it's fun to spin around the whole thing. I like how Tank makes you more careful about how you space your attacks to it in its attacking phase, but that's all there is to it. Chaos Island is heavily composed of more challenging versions of Kronos Island's bosses. Fortress, Shinobi, and Excavator are all much better than Squid, Ninja, and Tower respectively. Spider is this island's only unique fight, but it's not really as interesting as the others. Finally is Oranos Island, and this one might have the best selection. Caterpillar is a better Strider, and there are even 2 harder versions of Ninja, Kunoichi and Master Ninja. Ghost is probably the best one there is in the whole game, however. You have to explore a mini obstacle course whilst rings are being drained from you. It's super fun, especially when you try out some silly shortcuts. And that's everything. I really like finding these bosses, especially when you get to a decently high skill level and cheese some aspect. This then leads on to the next major aspect. Combat. Frontiers' combat is a strange little thing, as it has the right puzzle pieces to be super in-depth and full of originality, but there's just one little thing here and there to make it far more simple. Firstly, you start the game with a simple 4-hit combo, a dodge, and a parry. You can make do with these for a bit, but to have more fun, you gotta use skill points. You can get these from defeating enemies, random boxes, and glowing springs once you get the trick skill. This skill tree is pretty simple, all things considered, but it allows you to get unique special attacks to perform with a special button combination. These elevate the combat tenfold. It is a blast chaining tons of these attacks together at once just to obliterate anything in your path. It may not require much effort, especially considering how most enemies can't stop you once you begin an attack chain, but it's fun to me, and that's really all I care about. There is one move that bugs me, unfortunately, because of how easy it is to make better from a gameplay standpoint: the parry. Holding both bumpers down will keep you in a permanent state where any attack thrown at you will be countered. It even holds you in the air, which is surprisingly useful for higher platforming segments. The problem, however, is that there is no cooldown, or anything to stop you from holding it indefinitely. No matter how long you prepare a parry for, if something hits you in this state, it will be countered, time slows, and you can wail on it. This is so simple to fix, because so many games of this type have a solution. Make it an actual parry. Tapping the bumpers will trigger the parry, but holding them could be a guard, blocking some damage but removing the slowdown. This would make high level play so much more satisfying in my opinion, as you actually have to learn the enemy attacks like any other Souls-like, which is clearly what the combat is inspired by. It doesn't ruin it for me clearly, but it definitely bugs me. Don't you worry, we'll talk about that thing much later. Overall, like I said before, the combat could easily be a slam dunk if it altered just a few tiny things. What I love about this game's structure is how every collectible and thing you do feeds into progression in some way. I briefly mentioned before how one thing leads to another in the Guardian talk, but let's go into that more. Guardians give you portal gears unlock cyberspace, cyberspace unlocks vault keys unlock chaos emeralds unlock finished game. This structure is what the game is all about, yet it doesn't feel linear as you can do whatever one of these you want on each island. You could start with Squid, then go to 1-5, and get the first emerald if you so choose. I also love how the amount of times you need to do this loop changes depending on how good you do in cyberspace. There are 4 missions for each cyberspace stage, and they each give you 1 vault key. If you get all 4 for every mission you complete, this significantly reduces the amount of bosses you need to fight, making for a faster experience. I love this so much, as I can just choose to avoid the bosses I don't like to have a more fun experience. In general, this game encourages you to just not do the stuff you dislike, which I think is goddamn awesome. This is mainly because of one of the last things I need to mention. Each island features a cyberspace portal that actually takes you to a fishing minigame with Big the Cat. Collecting the purple coins scattered around each island, as well as getting them from the random Starfall event that can happen at night, gives you a chance to fish for items and fish. There's a heck of a lot of stuff to find in these waters, ranging from tiny tadpoles to anglerfish. Each rarity of fish gets you a few tokens to spend in the shop, where you can get literally everything. Don't want to fight the bosses? Grab a portal gear or 2. Hate cyberspace? Nab some vault keys to completely skip it. You can also get some upgrade items and extra lore memos we'll touch on later, but this is a very strange thing to include, isn't it? If you get enough purple coins, you could literally beat an entire island by just fishing. I don't think this would happen to a casual player, and it's not even ideal for high level play, plus it's not really that fun. I love fishing, but you'd need to fish for about an hour or 2 just to finish one island. I'm glad this is here, of course, the music is exceptional. It's just an interesting little aspect of the game to think about. Finally, my favourite aspect of this game's progression are the memory tokens. Not all Chaos Emeralds are gathered through the system mentioned previously. Some are from progressing the main story of the island through collecting these tokens scattered around everywhere. You'll mainly find these amongst these tiny platforming challenges all over the place. These are where the main gameplay comes from. And what I love about this is how one challenge can easily flow into another. They tend to leave you high in the air once they're done, so you'll probably be able to land right onto an entirely separate challenge not that far away from you. It's a constant loop of, oh, let's do this, oh, let's do that, what's over there, how can I get that without doing all of that? And it is so damn liberating. This is the key gameplay reason as to why I love this game so much. The constant discovery of finding a new challenge to do, as well as finding a way to cheese it due to how momentum can work. I know, momentum was technically removed from this game, but if you enable the ability to maintain boost during a jump in the settings, which was added in a content update post-release, you can find so many creative ways of skipping challenges entirely, and it is so damn fun! Anyways, back onto the tokens. They let you interact with the side character of the island, and sometimes lead to a small minigame or puzzle you have to complete to progress the story along. They range from hunting a few cocoa and avoiding bombs, to loading a cannon and firing it at a plug to drain water. Some of these are definitely better than others. The collecting bolts one is really good, I like the bullet hell minigames, and the one with the 4 towers is a good way of testing if you know how the enemies really work. There are a few stinkers, unfortunately, the biggest one being the goddamn pinball. The physics can be really jank, and restarting so close to the end of this 3 to 5 minute long slog can be so disheartening. I've struggled with this so damn much on an earlier playthrough, but it's at least been easier more recently. Overall though, I like these, they function decently well as breaks from the main gameplay loop. And that is the structure of Sonic Frontiers complete. Every separate gameplay mechanic I've wanted to mention before tackling the quote-unquote level design. I told you this would be a long one. Yeah, I can't deny the flaws that are present here. Not everything is perfect, and I don't even adore everything listed either. However, the best stuff is straight up the best of the franchise to me. I don't feel the sense of flow and excitement I get from this game anywhere else, and it is consistently a joy to replay, time and time again. It doesn't appeal to everyone, but it appeals to me. On to level design.